Good afternoon, and thank you for joining Down the Rabbit Hole with KD. I am your host, KD, and I have a very, very special guest for you all this afternoon. Her name is Miss Jennifer Davis. She is a childhood sexual abuse survivor. She is an author. She is a writer and has done a documentary titled The Cards That We Were Dealt. And so I have the pleasure of bringing her on this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, you all say hello to Miss Jennifer Davis. How are you, Jennifer?
Hi, hello. I'm good. I'm good today. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining this show today. Can you tell us just a little bit about let's talk about the project first because I want to bring up the clip. Tell us about the documentary, and then you and I get into our conversation, our one-on-one conversation.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so my documentary is called The Cards That We Were Dealt. My story is about the journey of breaking generational abuse and how it develops. Okay, this documentary is based off of three interviews of three generations that have dealt with this cycle of abuse, and how do we reprogram our brains in understanding that this is a problem, that it's not considered healthy, and how do you reprogram yourself so that you can become healthy in your future and take over your life, take your life back from being abused in any aspect, sexual, mental, physical, etc. So yes, I am a survivor of abuse in all aspects, and I want to be able to inspire others to know that that is not the end of their lives, and that they can redefine themselves and recreate who they want to be and live out their vision of who they want to be.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. So we're going to go and I'm going to play about a minute and a half of this clip from the film The Cards That We Were Dealt.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Davis, and this is my documentary, The Cards That I Was Dealt.
I know this is tough, bold to talk about one's life in the raw, um, uninhibited. It's just you, no influences from moms or friends, cousins, friends, and everybody. No influences. It's just yours, and it's you and me, and we're talking. And so let's talk and bring it back. Tell me just a little bit about your childhood. I know it's going to be tough to go back a little bit, but I mean, I think it's appropriate now that we're doing this, that we just start at the beginning. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your childhood.
Okay, so growing up, my earliest memories um, are they're not good. Um, I have memories of a lot of abuse and hurt, but a lot of love and hope. You know,
So, like, you said a lot of abuse. Like, that's, and it's funny to me that as you were saying that, you just went right over that part. It's kind of like
I'm gonna
it
stop
was
it
like,
right there because that I'm telling you all, that particular, unmute your mic, Jennifer. That particular, I'm sorry, I can unmute it for you. That particular that is just a very, very good documentary. I was telling you, Jennifer, I don't watch a lot of people's stuff, right? Like it takes a lot for me to watch it. Either it's boring or the production isn't, or it's just completely ridiculous. One of the two. But I could not stop watching your documentary. So I know that we're here to promote the documentary, but I have to get into just some things, that you might only want to talk about in the documentary. You might just want them to wait for the documentary. But if that's the case, then just let me know because I'm about to dive
That
right
is
in on
definitely
here.
the case because there is so much else more to come with this.
Okay.
We are currently working on that part too, where as you will begin to see, not only did I incorporate the family and the three generations that I have, but I began to show you on this next production that we're working on at this time, how me and the family all come together to get through these situations and we begin to make a change in not only just our lives but in our families, how we
Okay.
function, and understanding that we can come out of this together. There's no way to change who you have as your family, but what you
Mhm.
can do is identify what the wrongs in your family, and you can come together and work with each other so we're not alone.
Right. So, what was your inspiration for doing the documentary, for telling your story? Like, how long did it take for you to tell your story? Um, was this story like your coming out story? Had you told someone before? Was this common knowledge, or what was
Oh, I
just
speak
your
it all the
inspiration?
time. Growing up, I went through a lot of therapy, and they teach you that when you speak about the things that have happened to you, the more you talk about them, the more you're able to get those things off of you. However, it may not necessarily be the case. For me, it was making the awareness because the more I talked about it, the more I saw a need for people to um, know and understand what was happening out here, that this is a norm in our culture that should never have been, and it's not for all.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for all, but it is for a mass majority of our people. And what grasped me to really say, you know what, enough is enough, these chains must be broken, was my child. I realized that in running from the cycle, I ran directly into the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned to forgive myself for that.
Good.
However, I also know that with taking ownership of your actions and knowing that, oh my goodness, unconsciously, I didn't even realize, subconsciously, I didn't even realize that I was projecting the same type of activities or abuse and displaying them in front of my children.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Ownership is key. So once you have ownership, it's what you do with it.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to fix it.
Right, right. When did the abuse start? How old were you when you started getting abused?
Before I could start even remembering, I want to say that um, I was raised.
Children usually start their memories or start remembering things at the age of 4.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and
would
it
you?
had to be before then. At 4, I remember definitely.
Okay, all right. And do you mind sharing with us who the person was, who your assailant was?
It was a family member, it was a cousin of mine,
Okay. And how did
and
you get into that situation?
he was also being abused. He was also being coached.
Mhm.
Um, you know, like I said, there's a cycle in life. Whereas I found information about my grandfather, who was the um, child molester or abuser in that case, and he was also abused. And he was raised to believe that that was a norm and that was how you established your wholeness. And um, I mean, it's very mind-boggling how the mind can be persuaded to in so many different directions and make you feel as though you're justified in those actions. Um, but to project that onto another person's life, and not give them the decision, it's wrong. It's wrong. We're taught to give our children the choices and the options of the world and allow them to make those choices for themselves. It's different when you project them and then you install them and then you begin to force them to project the same thing. That's abuse.
Mm-hmm. Right. You said that he was coached. What do you mean by that, that he was coached?
Coach meaning just like in any other sense, you have someone not only just influencing you but telling you what to do, how to do it, how to become better at it. That becomes a coaching.
Was he coached by your grandfather?
Yes. Oh
Okay.
yes. Oh
Okay.
yes.
How how
It went as deep as him watching, and I kind of see that that's where you're trying to go with that. Um,
no, I just wanted to be clear about
yeah,
the situation. Yeah.
that's that coaching. Your coach is to stand back and watch what you're doing and correct you when you're doing something wrong or whatnot. And in sports or even in life, you have life
Hmm.
coaches that guide you along in that aspect as well. So yeah, it was that type of coaching that was happening at that
Were
time.
you all the only two in your family? So this was just a thing, like was it just with his grandchildren and other more
It was
family members?
others, is all of the youth, all of our family. Like
Male
I said, it
and
was
female.
male and female. There was no just one. You know,
Hmm.
I learned that dealing with the mentality of a hi, how you doing? Dealing with the mindsets of a child abuser. Um, it was something that triggered them, that made them feel as if the innocence of a child was attractive.
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know it was
Hmm.
stimulating.
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know and it wasn't just for him, it was also for my uncle,
Which is your grandfather's son,
brother.
brother.
Him and his brother raised our
Hmm.
family in that aspect.
Hmm.
Okay. Which caused a lot of issues with us as the youth, because like I said, those were things that was forced upon us. And when we get old enough to know that, guess what we were being groomed to do, oh my god, this is like, I'm a monster. You know what I'm saying? It turns
Yeah.
that into that mindset of a child coming up, that we become monsters and there's nothing we can do about it. So either
Hmm.
we begin to self-destruct or we inflict that same type of mentality onto others. In
And
my
what? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, in my aspect, I became more yes, I became more self-destructive. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Hmm.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. That's fine. Go right ahead on. You became more self-destructive.
Yes,
Hmm.
suicidal, um, rebellious, because as far as I was concerned, you know, things had changed. But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't want to go too deep into it. It actually tells more in detail inside of the document.
Okay. And so, did you all inform, like, did you tell anybody?
About it
Yeah.
after,
Yeah,
we
like
talked
as a
about it
child.
as a child. I mean, when you're taught that that's what's going on, and everyone around you, including the adults, know that that's going on, who do you
So
tell?
the women in your family knew as well. It was just one of those things in your
On
family.
that side, yes, but I dealt with two different. Once again, this documentary is about different types of abuse. It's not just one. So I have
Okay.
a different type of abuse on one side of my family that was displayed, and then there
Hmm.
was a separate type of abuse on the other side. And no, I isolated myself and I did not tell as a child, because to me, what do you tell when you're taught that all of the things that's going on is normal? What do you
Hmm.
tell?
Hmm. What other kind? Okay, so we got that part, and I don't want to deal too much with that because that's the point of the documentary, and I really want people to check it out. Again, the documentary is titled "The Cards That We Were Dealt," and it's the story. It's Jennifer Davis's story. It is very well put together. Very good. It's on Tubi. You can find it on Tubi. You can find it on Vimeo. Where the cards that we were dealt. I want you guys to check it out. But also, Jennifer, let's talk about the other type of abuse. Since let's get off the sexual stuff, we got that down pat. Let's get to the other things because I'm doing this for a reason. It's don't mean something in the end. Just walk with me on this. You already know, right.
I know.
So
come on now, we need to talk.
Right. So tell me about the other kind of abuse that you did. Now, the sexual abuse that was on your father's side.
Correct.
Okay, so now let's get to mama's side.
Mom's side was more so of domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
I watched my mom in a domestic violence situation my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Even as of today, even though they're older at this time, it still, may arise from time to time.
Right.
Learning how to cope with that is also what I speak about in the documentary. And it breaks down the fact that we all have our own life's journeys. It became traumatizing as a child to know that my mother was unable to leave. However, in other families as well, I know for a fact that there's people that go through things and may have seen things in this case as far as domestic violence is concerned displayed in front of them. The fear of losing a parent to domestic violence will traumatize and not only send a person through PTSD, post-traumatic stress, it throws the balance off and the focus off. So then it begins to be hard to focus on what is needed to be successful in life. The focal point, it changes your focal point.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to do with this documentary is to bring awareness to it so that you're like, hey, I really shouldn't be focusing in on this in this area.
Right.
What I got to do to make me better.
Exactly. That's where I'm getting to. What were your steps to, like, at what point did you realize that this was not normal behavior and that
I knew
this
from
was
the age of 5.
okay? Okay.
The age of 5.
Well, at what point did you decide that enough was enough and that you were going to take matters into your own hands and become free of that thing and also get the healing that you deserve?
I realized that I needed to be free from that around the age of 19. I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I could no longer be angry with her for the journey that or the path that she chose to take.
So her being your mother.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Within letting that go, it was almost as if I began to reclaim a piece of myself. And that's what I want people to understand is how to reclaim you and not necessarily embody another person's journey, embody that responsibility for another person's journey, and understanding that you also have choices in the life that you live. So from that point, you have to live for you and what you want to write in your book, in your story.
Right. Right.
Where you're going, what story are they going to say about you?
Exactly. Exactly.
Me well, because I'm going to tell it all. I'm going to tell all.
I'm trying to tell you. I keep telling people.
If you got to keep it a secret, don't do it.
Right, exactly. Because I heard someone say that you can't be free of a thing until you are ready, until you can tell it. If you can't tell it, you can't be free. Now, I don't know how true that is because there are some things that I'm never going to tell. I don't think that has anything to do with, being being delivered from something, if you will, or being free from something. But but I do like the concept of, being able to tell a thing and tell a story. You know what I mean? And without consequence and without, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Especially when it's your story, like when it's something that happened to you, right?
You can't
Because
tell anyone else's story but your own.
Exactly.
And I want people to not take that in the wrong way. You can't tell someone else's story.
And people will get mad at you for telling your own story. And the only thing that I say when that situation, because I've had similar situations, and it's like, but you did it. I didn't. I'm just telling the story. I'm telling what I saw from my point of view. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's
what I
just
can
what it
say,
is. It has absolutely
I come
nothing.
from a respectful place. I come from a respectful place, even with those who were involved. So therefore, in telling this story,
What's a respectful place? What's a respectful place?
It's not a spiteful place. So when I began to tell my story, and I've made peace within myself, and I know that I'm getting ready to tell that story, I also include the people that were involved in that story, and I let them know, look, I'm telling my story. This is how I felt. I just want you to be able to respect that. And even if you don't at the end, it wasn't as if I held those information for you, because I have to do what's best for me.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Right. Right. And that's simply just telling the story. That's it,
But there was awareness. There has been awareness prior to. So I mean, I know that for some people it may be backlash. I know there's some people that may not like the fact that I may have spoken out about it. And then when they begin to watch the documentary and they see how well it's put together, because there's not only just a story that's
very well put together.
There's statistics and actual numbers to back up the information that I'm feeding to the public. Okay. This is something that we are told to be quiet out, but I won't be quiet no longer, because at that point I allowed it to control my life.
Yeah, I never understood that. That, like, why is that so prevalent? And maybe and I want to say it's so prevalent in the Black home, but that's the only type of home I know. But maybe it's not just in the Black home. Maybe that's just like families across the board. You know what I mean? I'm quite sure it's families across the board. What we will talk about somebody getting pregnant in the family. We will talk about our gay ass cousins. You know what I'm saying? We will talk about our hoe ass aunties. We'll talk about our no good granddaddy. Our mean ass grandmama. But we don't talk about those who are molesting other people's children in the family. Like, that's something, and it came from somewhere.
It's
I don't
to be ashamed of.
Yeah,
it's something to be ashamed of.
No, it very well is. It's very well to be ashamed of, because it's a very ugly thing, right?
Exactly.
It's ugly, no doubt. It's ugly, but nevertheless, it's ugly. But if y'all gonna keep something in the family, then keep the ugliness in the family, but deal with the ugliness within the family too. Don't just keep it there just because it's ugly and it's nasty. Deal with the ugly and the nasty within the family. But don't just not address it. You have children who are literally like, you know what I'm saying? And people will know. The parents will know. You know what I'm saying? There is no, I don't believe that there is one single person that I could know that, is being like, I could know for sure, for a fact, that this is happening, or a child said something to me and I not, you know what I'm saying? I not react to it. I not tell. I don't deal with it. I don't understand that at all. I'm talking about mothers, aunties, sisters, uncles, but we'll talk about everybody else but this here. It's all ugly.
It is. It's very,
you know what I'm saying? Ugly. But still,
and the thing about that is you must face it.
You'll kill somebody else. You'll kill somebody else outside your family. If somebody else molested somebody else, You know what I'm saying? If it was an outside thing, oh, we'll kill them motherfucker, we'll take them down. But y'all got inside infiltrations. They need to go too, don't they? Or should they? I mean, I'm just saying.
You do, but then you got people that back then it was like, that's my baby, that's my brother, that's my sister. We not gonna do that.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine.
He just needs some help.
And he does. And he does. And he does. That's another thing. That's another thing. We don't believe in health care. We will go to church and pray it out and try to dance it out and pay it out with our tithes, but we won't deal with the situation at hand. Absolutely, he needs some help. Absolutely,
it's a real life thing right now, and yeah, it's way bigger than just a family. Even in handling inside of the family, there's a bigger picture with it. Okay, so it's not just the Black homes; it's all types of nationalities that are going through this. There's a lot of people that don't know how to voice that opinion. There's a lot of people killing themselves because of the silence and not knowing how to find the resources or the things to do in order to better themselves and to find a way to live life for them, themselves. We don't have that. No one is broadcasting this. No one is trying to heal them. We wonder why the communities are turning out the way that they're turning, and we don't take any ownership in saying, hey, I could have done something.
Right.
I could have made this aware. I could have said something. You know what I'm saying? And I could have let somebody know that they weren't alone. But when you're going through that, you feel alone.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you don't feel it all, and you're just, or you don't feel it all, and you're just moseying along. So let's talk about some good stuff. I feel like we got all the stuff out the way. You know what I'm saying? Now let's pick it up and let's talk about some good stuff. Let's talk about your acting career. Let's talk about your business. Let's talk about how you have inspired others to tell their story.
Yes.
Let's talk about how you are helping young women heal. Let's talk about your upcoming events. Let's talk about some good stuff because we are overcomers, right? You overcame that you're constantly overcoming. So let's get to some good stuff, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Now, what you got going on? I always say when I talk to people, especially artists, I always ask the question, what are you working on? So tell me, what are you working on?
Oh, okay. So as we've already talked about, working on the part 2 on the healing and actually showing you what that looks like. So my goal in that one is to take out the mindset of just do it, you know, or just let it go. I hate that statement. Let it go. Just let it go. You just let it go. Some things can't be let go of. It's
That's
just
true.
Like, it's not like a piece of paper in your pocket where you can take it and put it in the trash. Okay. What we got now is a scar. It's a wound. It's an infection. It's something that needs surgery. So it's a procedure that has to be put into place, and it's not easy.
Okay. All right.
We're not gonna let it go. We're gonna work on it.
Right. Let's work on it. Okay.
Let's work on it.
So tell me. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I was going down my list. I got a little list.
Okay. Oh, go ahead. You get thing.
Okay. The second thing that I am working on right now, I started a business. I collabed with my life coach, my mentor.
Okay.
And we're actually reaching out to our communities, our Black-owned businesses and things like that. And we started an organization called the Classy Show and Shop, which is considered as a trade expo. So what we have is from like 1 to 7 will be in the communities, and we'll have a list of performers, actors, comedians, community, Chicagoland area, all throughout the Chicagoland area, coming out to perform for our people and showing our talents and our gifts. And we have booths and vendors that will be there. Also promoting their businesses and their crafts and the love that they have, their passions. And we're going to continue to empower one another. And we're going in an upscale way because we are upscale.
Awesome. Okay. I'm going to show that Throw that picture up here really, really quick, just for people to kind of see that.
Yes,
So
yes,
it
we got a
is,
headliner. Yes, yes, the
yeah.
legendary Dajae. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
anybody who knows house music knows about Brighter Days, knows about the
Right.
oh, oh, you know, that feel good music. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I was just saying to somebody, I was I was driving around, I think I was looking for a location for a film, and I got out of the car to go, you know, on the porch and check out the house, and I'm walking around, whatever. And the neighbor across the street was started playing that song. And when I tell you that I was out there, like I'm looking at the house, but I'm like, ooh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm trying to keep my cool, you know, as I'm looking at the house, and I'm, you know, I'm in the windows, I'm peeping because the owner's not there, whatever, you know, and I'm just like, hey, but that song came on, it was like, and it is just feel, there is nothing like Chicago house music.
Yes,
Nothing,
yes.
nothing.
So
And
we're
it's,
gonna start it with a bang. That's how we
yeah,
coming out. We want to
yeah,
make sure that we're lifting us up and empowering us while in this feel good mode. And we
yeah,
have the
yeah.
legendary Dajae in the
Mm-hmm.
house performing these songs, these beautiful uplifting music to inspire all of our communities. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Especially our Black-owned businesses and
Right,
communities.
right,
Okay. And reminding
right.
ourselves that we are worth it. Investing in ourselves, we are worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So come on out. I expect to see you all. The event is going to be on August 1st. Okay. We're all right off Lakeshore Drive at Studio 2226, August 1st, 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Show starts at 4.
Go ahead and give them that address again. It's 2226 East 71st Street
Yes.
in Chicago, Saturday,
Yes.
August 1st.
Yes.
At what time does it start?
It's from 1 to 7, and the show starts at 4.
Okay. So that means be there at 12 o'clock, because you know it's going to take folks time to get there. Be there at 12 o'clock. The show starts at 3, and the party is over at 6. Okay.
For all of those on that cultural time. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because you said 71st Street. So it starts at 12. The show starts at 2:30. And we leaving at 5:30. It's over with. You know, they gonna stop serving food at 4:30. You know, you gotta give our people, you know, you gotta give us something.
We just want you to feel that way. Want
You
y'all
know
to
what
think
I'm
that.
saying?
Okay. We want y'all to think this. So have that in your mind.
Exactly.
Okay? And just be ready for the the miracles to happen. And when you get there, we're gonna wait. Like,
you know
oh my
what
God,
I mean?
this is so much better than what I thought.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, exactly. Well, Jennifer, it has been a pleasure speaking with you. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad that we finally did get this opportunity. You have been wonderful. You know, you're almost one of my favorite people now. You know, I talk to you behind.
We were connected by the universe, so you already know how that works. Okay?
Right.
He has us in line already.
Right. And we're birthday twins.
Birthday
We
twins.
are
Yes, you
birthday
are my
twins,
birthday
you
twins.
all. We are birthday twins. We found that out, and I've only had 2 other birthday twins, and we used to, like I was explaining to Jennifer, we used to hang out all the time, and, you know, things just happened where we stopped hanging out, whatever. So when Jennifer told me that she was my birthday twin, I was like, oh my God, and we had dinner, and it was a ball, and we had a good time.
We had our family, our loved ones, our
did.
greatest supporters.
Everybody came through.
It was beautiful.
It was
beautiful.
amazing.
I thank you so much for blessing me with your presence on that day. Thank you so
Girl, I thank you for blessing me with your presence, you and your mama.
much. Yeah, I know, right?
And we also share, for you all that don't know, we also share the same family last name. So we're going to find out if it's a possibility that we could be, you know, maybe related some type of way, because you do look like some of them folks.
We done shown some pictures, so on both sides, we got some things that's like, okay, we gonna have to dig.
Right. Well, it's been a pleasure, Jennifer. Stick around. I'm going to kind of close us out here. Thank you all for joining me for another episode of Down the Rabbit Hole with KD. I am your host, KD, and we've had the pleasure of speaking with the most magnificent Jennifer Davis, author, mom, entrepreneur, all of that good stuff. Look for her documentary, The Cards That We Were Dealt. You can find it on Vimeo, and you can also find it on Tubi Television. Okay, it's been real. Love you all. Until next time, join me this Thursday. This Thursday is going to be a powerhouse. I am interviewing Joe Collins, who is running for Maxine Waters' position in Congress, and who is suing Maxine Waters. He is suing Auntie Maxine. So tune in this Thursday. It's going to be wonderful. Go on my page, subscribe to us. Jennifer, you know what I didn't do, honey? I'm so sorry. Let me bring you back in. How can the people find you on your let's post some of your social media. Where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at Jennifer Davis on Facebook. You'll see me and possibly all three of my children, my babies. That's my world. This is what I do it for. Okay. And you can also find me on Instagram at Jenny_D_stylist01.
Okay, wait a minute. Jenny_D stylist.
Yep. 01.
01 or 01?
01.
01. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And you will find some of my work on there as well. I look forward to seeing you guys. You guys can reach out to me if you have any questions, or follow me, so that way I can keep you up to date on the other things that's going on. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you for again being a guest on Down the Rabbit Hole with KD. I'm so excited, and you got to come back. I'm already extending the invitation for you to come back on Saturday, August 7th. I'm having a 1-year anniversary. You made it! Yay! I'm having a 1-year anniversary with everyone that has been on my podcast this entire year. And so it's going to be David Icke, Kalamad Amun-Ra, Pastor James Manning, Monica James. Let me see, Bevelyn Beatty, if she's available. I didn't talk to her about it yet, but now I'm telling her, so Bevelyn, you got to join in. Just everyone that has been on the show, Jenna Miller, you now, hopefully Joe Collins can come back. It's going to be out of control. All the people that participate in the Black Men is God series and the Lucky Quarter series, like, it's going to be completely out of control. So, thank you for joining me again.
Thank you so much. I will be there.
You're welcome. Again, here's her information, you guys. We're going to get up out of here. Stay good to one another. Be kind to one another. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like this video, share this video. I never say that, but I'm saying that today because I want to bring awareness to Jennifer's project. It's a project that I believe in. And so if I believe in it, then I'm going to support it and push it. All right? All right, guys. Have a wonderful and blessed day. You all be good. Love you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.